Perfect. What's up, doggo? Hey, Poochie Mang. How's it going? How are both of y'all? You got in here quick. I haven't even fully set everything up. Oh, shoot. Oh, and I just fucked it. Never mind. Sorry you couldn't stay last time. That's alright. I just appreciate popping in. I don't even care if you guys stay or don't. You'll stay this time? Yes! Dude! Really? That's perfect. Let's start this TikTok live. We've been making some incredible strides in our drawing ability and in our teaching ability. I must leave. I don't know if stream will be here when I come back. Oh. Hands and plates to Kamata-kun. What if I don't want to? Doggo, what if I like the drawing as it is? It looks so savage and scary that it's kind of perfect. I don't even want the hands. Mm-hmm. See, even Poochie's kind of like, what the hell is this guy doing? Pooch, what do you want to see? What do you want me to draw? I'll do anything you're interested in. I got a hot dog at Costco just recently. Guess what? The burps taste exactly like it. Your face? No! I hate doing self-portraits. I will do a face though. Maybe I can make it look like me. Alright, so I'll do the full. Ooh, nice. Dude, $1? $1 for a dog? All I'm saying, it's really hard to beat something like that. Also, check this out. Let me try and take off this big overhead light. One sec. Oh, sick. It doesn't change at all. Clothes on the ground? Wait. Oh, nice. Clothes on the ground, like messy? Like small background stuff? What are we talking about, Pooch? Are you saying you can see my clothes on the ground? What? I don't even think you can see the ground at all in this cam. Where are you seeing clothes? Like if you saw a messy room. Pooch, I'm lost. I gotta be honest, I'm completely lost. Oh, just your own. Nice. Okay. You had me going for a sec. I was like, my brain fully shut down. Oh, we've got a couple of people on the TikTok starting. Oh, God. All of the viewers in TikTok, let me tell you, the stinkiest. Probably the grossest we have. Some of them come in just to bully me. Which is fine, I guess. Okay, let's do faces. Faces are notoriously hard, Poochie. I'm telling you this. Like POV of a desk, bad night. Oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Like my video of the POV drawing with all this stuff around. Yes. We might be able to do something like that. We do have the full hour. But also, we could just do some face drawings. Those always work. People on TikTok love face drawings. Let's just rip a couple of faces and then we can do a POV something. Does that sound good, Pooch? Okay, so 4 faces. Is everybody listening? I'm speaking to a million people right now, so be careful. What we've got, what everyone always starts with a face, is this big fat oval. SpongeBob? Ooh, we could do SpongeBob as well. Okay, I'll do one normal face and then I'll do a SpongeBob face, right? I like that idea. And we'll make him 3D as hell. SpongeBob, big guy pants okay. Any munchers in chat? Oh, dude. I am such a muncher. I can't even get over it. With this face, everybody always starts their tutorials the same way. And they all go fucking buck wild over this split method where you cut it right in half. Well, guess what? It's actually pretty banging. It's actually a pretty good way to start a face. So, what we're going to do with this face, draw an egg. Just draw a big circle, oval, whatever the hell you want, right? Cut it in half. So we have half of the face up here and half down here. The fun part, the fun fact of all of this is pretty much your entire face is going to live in this bottom half, which sounds nuts. It sounds crazy. You kind of want to hold a gun to my head after I say something like that. But guess what? It's true. And it's even more true if you're doing like illustrations or anime. Oh man, I'm dropping crazy frames. Pooch, can you see this at all? We might be over, everybody. Okay. I'll just push on. I'll forge ahead. All the face is going to be in this bottom half, right? So, to make sure that we get everything correct, what I'm going to do... Oh, what's up, Queen of NASA? You'll explode soon if Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 1. A little, yes. How much is a little? We're going to cut this section in half again, right? Are we all with me? Are we all following along? So we have one half cut, and then we're taking this half section and we're cutting it again, right? And guess what? Now we have this section, and we're gonna cut it in half again. Holy smokes. And you're probably thinking to yourself, I can't fucking take it anymore. I can't handle this. But guess what? You can. Just draw the oval, cut it in half once, cut that half in half again, cut that half in half and half and half and half again. Easy. That's how you do a face. Now, what this means, this is going to be our brow line. So, we are going to see the eyebrows start and also the tops of the eyes start at that line. This right here, this is going to be the nose, you crazy animal. Then this, guess what? Just throw out a random guess on what you think this line is going to be. ABC, I see you typing. I know you're going to say lips. And guess what? You're correct. It's the lips. Now, we have all of the pieces of a face mapped out, at least a little bit. The Ninjago wiki updated, so now there's Ingo and... Damn! That's a big day for you, Queen of NASA. Also, I gotta start calling you NASA. Queen of NASA, bit of a mouthful, I'll be honest. So now we have all these markings. We have all of this stuff mapped out. But guess what? Faces are usually symmetrical. So, what are we gonna do next? You got it. We're putting a line down the middle. Easy as pie. Straight down, vertical line, right down the middle. Now, we have all of our markings. We have the midline. We have a ton of symmetry notes and motifs and all of the fun stuff, right? Well, now we get to start thinking about where stuff goes. We have these lines, we have everything marked out, but how do we actually know? Well, here's a fun fact. The human head is 5 eye widths long. So if I'm drawing an eye, right, and it looks like this, just super simple, and it's got an eyebrow and whatever. That's an eye. If we're taking that as one width, that's the unit of measurement, right? The human head is going to be 5 eyes. So I'm coming up to my brow line, and I'm just going to throw in an indication of 2 ovals where I think the eyes are going to be, right? That's all I'm doing. I'm just kind of freeballing. I'm just kind of going nuts on it, right? What you're going to do is, to make sure that these are about the same size, is I'm going to draw 5 of those same circles, that same shape, across the entire length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's pretty much what we have for that oval. Like, we got that proportion right. We know that the eyes are going to be about that size, right? Now, they're subject to change if they go up or down or whatever, but getting that initial proportion correct is going to help you in the long run for sure. So, we have sort of the start of 2 eyes. And now that we put on these extra eyes for like width and for showing proportion and for all of this stuff, it actually does a little secret sauce for us too. It tells us that the nose is going to be one eye width as well. The entire nose is usually just one eye width. So I'm going to draw just a rectangle where I think that eye should go. Where I think that nose should go. And guess what? I'm having it hook up to that bottom line that we drew earlier. Holy smokes. Can you believe that? So I have a rough estimate of the eyes, I have a rough estimate of the nose, I have a rough estimate of the entire head, and I have all of my guidelines. Guess what? Let's move on to the lips. Let's do some puckering. Let's do some kissing. What you want to do is in the middle of these eyes that we just drew, just draw a straight line down. Screw it. Who cares? It's our drawing. And now you're thinking, wait a second, something's starting to look nice in this thing. What this does is it shows us how wide the mouth should be. And this is a hot tip. This is one of the best tips I've ever learned. The mouth cannot extend past the middle of the eye, right? So we have these 2 points. We know the mouth has to be that big. So let's just draw a permanent line. Or not a permanent, but a little bit of darker line right there. That's going to be our mouth. And we're going to just ride or die with that mouth, right? Now that we have that, we can sort of start moving on to real details. And I'm thinking, since these eyes sort of turned out perfectly, let's make them a little bit more permanent too. So what I'm going to do is, because this is an illustration, I'm just going to draw that top line and a little bit of that tear duct, but nothing else, right? Those are the only 2 lines that I'm going to draw for these eyes. And I can bring this out a little bit just so you can see. So these 2 eyes, this is the only shape that I'm drawing, right? I'm just doing these 2 shapes, but for the eyes. We're all following that? You have to wait till March or April for season 4. Ooh, that's a long wait. Dang. Also, frames are back, right everybody? So, now that we have this, guess what? Let's throw in some irises and pupils. Since we're illustrating, we don't really have to do too much detail. Just throw in like little coins in those eyes and color them in. Just little circles. Nothing crazy. You don't have to go bonkers with the detail. And all of a sudden, like, that face is starting to have some sort of character. It's starting to have some sort of interesting dynamic to it. Something that really just makes you want to bite yourself, right? Isn't that awesome? Google says this is the last season of Dragons Rising. Oh no! NASA, you're kind of in for a troubling spring. So, now that we have this, guess what? That brow line is talking to us. It's whispering. So let's draw on some eyebrows. Just quick little indications of where we think these eyebrows are going to be. And the fun thing about eyebrows is you usually have a front-facing eyebrow, and then you have the piece that cooks around and ditches this front part and goes to the side of the head, right? So it's really thin at the end, and it moves away from us. So there we go again. We're now getting closer and closer to some fun detail on this guy. What we can do now is focus our attention on the nose. If we're thinking about it, if you're looking in the mirror, your eyebrows kind of cascade right into the nose, or at least the front plane of the nose. So let's draw a really slight and a really light line, just cascading right down from that eyebrow, right? And that's going to give us a pretty good indication of where the point of the nose is. And then, basically, from here, all I have to do is throw in 2 little itty-bitty circles for the nostrils, and then I can just round it off with those 2 little flare-outs. And then if I just add in a little bit of detail on the front of this nose, the front of this plane, oh my gosh, all of a sudden, that nose starts to look realistic. That nose starts to be pretty solid for a cartoon or illustrated nose. It'll probably be 2 years, whoa, before the next new installment releases. Dang, are they working like around the clock, or does whatever animation studio take breaks? Because that's crazy. Okay, so that nose turned out pretty solid. Now with these lips, a fun fact that a good buddy of mine taught me is that lips are just value. There are no real hard edges, there are no lines, there are no nothing, except for that midline. So for the top lip, just throw in a dash of gray, just throw in some color, and then we can come in and we can draw the middle line of the mouth a little bit darker. And then for the bottom lip, all we're drawing usually is just the bottom edge and a little bit of shadow underneath it. And that's really all you need for the lips. Like, look at how realistic that looks. And we did almost nothing to them, right? They need to make a new Metal Gear? I know! That's what I've been saying. Metal Gear is one of the top franchises because they understand that games should be fun and gamey instead of like this crazy efficiency, crazy long story, crazy like AAA budget. No, just make it stupid and fun and spy. Easy. Okay, so as we're going, we have essentially all of the details in front of us. We have all of the structure, we have all of the blueprinting. We've slowly been adding in details and details and details. And guess what? Now that we've taken our time, this face is starting to look like a real human face. And remember when I said the face is 5 eyes wide, right? We already have those 2 little measurements to show us where the sides of this head are. So, this is sort of when you get to pretend and you get to play and you get to imagine. If your character has a skinny face or a wider face, this is where you can stretch or shrink all of these measurements, right? I'm thinking this person probably has a little bit skinnier than these exact marks. So I'm going to move my head sides just inside those measurements. And I'm going to cascade down, and then we're going to start the jawline right at that lip line, right? So it's going to start curving into the chin right about there. And then we can have that curve around. And then the same thing goes for the other side. We want to mirror things as much as possible when drawing the face. And then once you get really good at faces, you can start doing asymmetry stuff and making people look actually realistic. But for all intents and purposes, and for learning, just stick with symmetry. Just like really figure out how jaws look, how faces look, how all of these things work together, and you'll slowly but surely get to a really realistic face. So, now that we're here, guess what? This face is looking solid because we've taken our time. We're going to throw in some ears. And the fun thing about ears are they just kind of look like beans. You just like throw in a little bit of jelly bean on this guy, and he all of a sudden has 2 perfect ears. It's that simple, right? And you might be thinking, oh my, they do work at least 5 days a week? They're releasing 20 episodes a year? Dang. Dude, remember what used to happen in TV is every season had to be like 20-something episodes? So they had to work like half the year or the full year just for one season as they were releasing it. And it caused a ton of burnout, so they stopped it. And now if you look at all the top shows, they're all like 9 or 10 episodes. The only voice actor have contacted Devin Mack? Wow, interesting. Wait, my question on voice acting process due to spoilers? Interesting. So you're asking all of like the end-all questions. Ninjago Dragon's Rising season is 20 episodes. Whoa! So they're sticking to the book. That's pretty sweet. Okay, back to the drawing. Remember when I said this face was going to be half of the head? I was right. Oh, goodness gracious, the guy teaching is actually correct about something. That's crazy. Basically, the rest is going to be the head. And what's really fun is finding a hairline for people. Usually, so we have this whole half of the head, right? Usually about half or 3/4 is where a solid hairline is for men. So let's just draw in 2 little lines and let's feel it out. Let's take a step back from our drawing and say what feels right. And honestly, this lower one feels a little bit better than that other one. So let's give him a widow's peak just for fun. And then let's have his hair cast down a little bit. And then into sideburns. And guess what? Now we can take another step back and think, is this correct? Does this look fine? Or have we made a grave mistake? And you know what? For a little tutorial, I'm thinking that's fine. So we can move to the outside of the head. Basically, we're just trying to make a very natural looking dome, a nice dome piece on this guy that doesn't look too cone-ish, and it starts from the middle of the ear and goes up and around, sticking with that same width that we've been playing with this whole time. And you should end up with a pretty realistic headpiece on this ugly mug. Look at that! Isn't that nice? All of a sudden, just from a couple of little steps, taking our time, we have a face that could be a comic book character. We have a face that you could change the nose and the lips and the eyes, and then all of a sudden it's your best friend, or your mom, or your dad, or whatever. Like, it is just following a couple of key steps. And then, you can add in some extra detail to make this look more realistic, like little hairs sticking out everywhere. You can add in some sideburns maybe. We can add in a little bit of texture on this top of the hair. Now, we just get to play. We get to go through, we can curve in these ears a little bit, make them look a little bit more realistic. We can add darker lines. We can make the eyebrows look a little bit more realistic. Like, it's all just fun now. Because we set everything up and we made it all look sick, we can just rip around. We can add in wrinkles wherever we think this guy would have them. Maybe he's getting a little bit old. Oh my god, all of a sudden we turn this young guy into an old guy. Wow, wait, really? You can add in cheekbones. You can do everything, but all we did was set up all that structure, all of those blueprints. NASA. But yeah, there's about 8 images from the trailer worth looking at. Oh, interesting. So you are constantly up to date on all of this. Have you ever missed an episode? Or do you watch them day of every single time? Also, Poochie, how you doing? There's a lot of Ninjago talk. I want to make sure you're still having fun. Okay, so we have... Did we have any requests from earlier? Oh, I don't want to do a POV. Oh, we have SpongeBob to do now. SpongeBob's incredibly easy. Basically, I'm even going to pull up a reference just so I don't make a total fool of myself. But SpongeBob doesn't really have any of these any of the things we just talked about. None of the rules apply to SpongeBob, I'll tell you that much. But he's still great. Good. Oh, nice pooch. I love it. Great. Okay. So, instead of doing a very realistic face, SpongeBob is basically just a big box of cereal with a massive face. So, SpongeBob's face takes up pretty much his entire head and body. So what we're going to do is, just for us, I am going to draw a big square rectangle just on Amazon, buying paint and kitchen stuff. Oh, sweet. Are you renovating? We're going to draw a secondary box on the inside, and this is going to be our container for all of the face details. Because we know that most of this head and body is face, we can just sort of start marking things out. And when we're marking things out, we know that about half of this face box is going to go to his eyes, and half is going to go to his nose and mouth. One big thing to think about when you're drawing cartoon characters and when you're drawing like super popular TV characters, Pokemon, video game characters, all of these things that are like recurring and animated all the time, they have to be simple, because the simpler they are, the more episodes they can make, because every frame the artists can just rip. So, keeping things extremely simple shape-wise, like I'm doing squares. For his eyes, we know that they're two big circles, so we can draw two big circles in this top area. We know that his nose is kind of like a cucumber, like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just long and there, like most of the Simpsons characters. Speaking of Simpsons, he has kind of a Simpsons mouth. His lips start from the nose, and then he jumps way out to this far eye, and then guess what? His mouth is just kind of sitting there. So now we have all of these sort of interesting, simple shapes on this face. We have his head, his big, beautiful head. And basically, from here, we can just sort of start refining and figuring out how to make this look like SpongeBob and not like an abomination. Which, I will be honest, is not an easy task. SpongeBob looks crazy. He is constantly on crack. And that's why redrawing him just from memory is kind of an insane task, even for me. And I've watched every single episode all the time. So, now that we have these simple shapes, we can sort of start refining. And what I want to do is I want to take the midline of his body and his face, and the midline here of his body and his face. And this is going to set me up a little bit better. I know that one eye has to be in this quadrant and one eye has to be in this quadrant. And I know that his nose kind of sticks into this eye, but not the other one, right? Are we all following along? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a very exploratory line for this nose and see if we can get it right the first try. That looks a little bit too much like a sausage. So what we're going to do is I'm going to erase it. And we are going to retry. That's the power of the super simple shape method. You just draw very lightly all the time, and then you retry as many times as it takes until you get the perfect nose. And this looks quite a bit better than the first rendition. So let's roll with this one, right? So, we now know that that's the nose, and that's pretty much the midpoint. We can now add this first eye, which is just one giant circle. So I'm going to lay this in very simply, following that structure that we had just set up, and then we know his left eye kind of sits behind that right eye. So again, just following everything that I just drew, I'm just slowly adding in permanent lines. And then we can add in his irises and his pupils. They are just crazy beady. Again, like I said, he is always on crack, so drawing him is kind of nutty. We can even thicken up some of these lines. God, he looks terrifying. He just always looks terrifying, especially in this early stage of the drawing. And then we can draw his little eyelashes. He has 3 on each eye. And as you can see, I'm taking all of those simple shapes that we did in the very beginning, and I'm just slowly adding detail onto them. Now we have the eyes and the nose, and we're all thinking, wow, what the hell? It's kind of working. It's kind of coming together. Then, remember when we had this midline? Let's draw a quarter line. Let's draw just one quarter line there and one quarter line there. And that's going to give us sort of boundaries for his lips and his mouth. So, right at that quarter line, I'm going to draw a line out for the top of his lip. And then I'm going to finish off his smile, which comes right back under his eye. And he has a little bit of a crook for a cheek. And then guess what? We're going to swoop all the way down to about that 3/4 line again. We're going to throw in some buck teeth. Oh yeah, baby. This guy is starting to cook. This guy is drawing SpongeBob on TikTok Live. Okay, and then we're just going to follow that line up and finish the mouth. Now, guess what? we can make that tooth a little bit wider. Bang. We can finish that one. Bang. We can start the tongue, which is just inside the mouth, and you just draw two little curved lines. That's all the tongue is. You can draw that tongue on any single character, and it works. And then you can just color in the mouth. Bingo, bango, bongo. Am I seeing... Oh, what's up, Jazz? It's been a while. What's up? Nothing much. We got a lot better. Doggo, you're back to your domain. That's perfect. I'm so glad. Nothing much is new. We've gotten a lot better at faces, as you can tell, and then someone asked for SpongeBob, so I'm doing my best to give a good tutorial. So with that... Oh, what's up? Hey, everybody. We can add in the little bottom lip shadow. Remember when this drawing, I was talking about the bottom lip and how you really don't have to draw it, you just have to draw the underside and the shadow. Same thing goes for SpongeBob. Just draw a little squiggly line underneath that lip and it feels like he has a lip now, instead of just the weird hanging line that he usually has. So, now that we have the whole face, guess what? All we have to do is the body. And then this guy is done. And he just has a wavy, strange, sponge-like body. So, oh, excuse me, god damn. So we'll just finish that off. Nothing too crazy about this. Just play with it as much as you want. And then we'll come down here. We can even, let's draw, I was just thinking about drawing his face, but let's draw his arm too. His arm is just going to be a little sleeve right here, a little opening. There's that. We can finish off his body. And then there you go. SpongeBob Big Guy Pants OK. It's that simple, everybody. And then you can finish him. You can do all the extra stuff. You can do all his holes and whatever, but the face is really what's important. Getting down that simple shape, that process, finding all of those halfway marks that actually finish and make it look good. Looks like him already. Thank you very much. He is very simple. He's an extremely simple guy to draw. What's up, Doggo? I'm glad you're on TikTok as well. Okay. Well, guess what? 30-minute stream. That's all I have time for today. I did answer your questions, by the way, Nathan. I know, I've been reading them, but it's like, with stuff that dense, I can't read them out loud, because then I'll get lost in them. So I've been scanning and skimming, and then going back to my tutorials. No, it's not a sad thing, it's a great thing. I haven't been able to read it out loud, but I have been reading it. It is really interesting. I think all of those animation studios and animation shows, like, they rip through content, especially like there are a couple animes right now, like Demon Hunter and Jujutsu Kaisen, that have like multiple studios all working on one episode. Don't go. I'm sorry. It might have to. H makes art. What's up? Thanks for the follow. We're actually like just close to ending. We did one real tutorial on how to draw human faces, and then we did one very poorly drawn SpongeBob, which is perfect. Wild Brain is awesome animation styles. Dude, yes, absolutely. Okay, well, I think that's all. That's all we've got. We did plenty. We drew a ton. We talked about Ninjago. We talked about fun. Nathan, how to take over your YouTube on... How to take over? I think you're already doing it. Just start going in. Just rip. You just have to talk and talk as much as possible, and you kind of take it over just that way. Okay. That's it. I'm getting out of here. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been awesome. NASA, you taught me so much about Ninjago, and it sparked my brain and got me imagining, which is sick. Poochie, always appreciate having you around. Doggo, you are in every single chat, and you are controlling everybody's minds, so that's cool. Talk for days, lols. That's sick. That's a superpower. Okay, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everybody. Nice. Goodbye. until tomorrow. I should be on tomorrow. And tomorrow might be a full hour instead of a 30-minute burger.